alloy selections up here. You'll see stainless, carbon steel, galvanized steel, aluminum. That being said, everything else on this basic menu gets 90% of our customers what they want right out of the box. Your Theo MA1, they do ship with an assortment of tips. In my experience, these are really the only two tips that matter. So you have tip A for wire diameters up to 0.35, and then tip B for the wire diameters above that. This thing can take up to roughly 0.62 wire. That's your stick out.
Okay.
That's how you're going to approach your joint.
So the aim.
I'm going to demonstrate fusion tacking and a wire assist final weld for you. I'm just going to line up my tool. Since I'm welding a 90-degree joint, I'm going to bring the tool in at a 45-degree angle. And when I'm lining up with that guide beam, I can use that red guide beam that's just like you would find in a typical laser pointer. And that's going to help me ensure that I'm nice and centered on that joint. So I'm going to put my first tack in on this. I'm doing this over a channel because there's no way to stop a beam of light once it's out the tool, and I don't want to have to chip this thing off.
Okay.
I'm going to pull this about 1/8 of an inch back from the end of that joint. Just give it a little tack here. All right, now I'm going to flip this around and do the same thing. I'm always going to make sure my hands and face are behind the tool. Now, with that being said, for a standard demo, start moving over to the wire assist. Wire assist welding on this tool is actually easier than fusion welding because you don't need to worry about your travel speed, okay? It's the wire feed speed that sets your travel. The wire will actually be pushing you back. I'm going to start at the end of that joint. You're going to see me pull the trigger. You're going to see me dwell for about half a second. And I'm going to watch that filler cool up onto both of these plates. And then I let it push me back. You're also going to see my face stays behind it the whole time.
This is his weld. Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. All right, that's his weld. That's his weld.
At the end of the day, this thing is one of the fanciest flashlights you'll ever use, okay? It blasts a very precise beam of light. It controls it with the galvo. You control it to a certain point with your travel speed and keeping an angle.
Right.
But if you look at the different welding methods, so if I look at inner fillet, okay, and I'll just dial that in for a 1 to 2 millimeter carbon steel.
Right.
And then I come over to expert mode. So you'll see that's wobble width, 30% power, 60 hertz wobble frequency. All right. 60 hertz wobble frequency is pretty much a default no matter what you're doing until you get to the really, really thick stuff where having that slowed down makes sense. But that's what we had for inner fillet. Let's see if there is any difference. All right. For a lap joint, I'm just going to change that right quick and then go back to carbon steel, 1 to 2 millimeters. No difference, because at the end of the day, it's the same joint.
Right.
All right.